So we're not training warriors, we're training and equipping shepherds. They're educated, they're prepared, and they're trained, and they're aware of their situation.
Hey guys, this is Brian with Good Shepherd Defense. I want to take a few minutes to talk about your range bag and some essential gear that you should be carrying. A few things that people don't think about when they have a range bag. Obviously a range bag is something important that everyone should have. You're able to go ahead and carry different types of gear in there, your ammunition, your firearms. But the essentials that you want to necessarily, you don't always think about, is we're going to kind of go over a few of those today. Obvious ones are going to be some cleaning materials. So stuff to clean your firearm, because real life happens on the range. And if you need to take apart your firearm for any reason and go ahead and clean that, lube that up, you're able to go ahead and do so. As well as coming and having a spray lubricant. This is able to go ahead and get off all of that grit, especially for our longer training classes where we're shooting, 2,000-3,000 rounds. This is something that's really pivotal to have in your range bag, because if you do need it, you have it. And I've never not regretted having that in there. Another spray that's really important, especially as you can see, we're outdoors and real life does happen, is bug spray. And you don't really want your training to be hindered by a mass of bugs in your face while you're trying to really focus on your target, your sight picture, and your basics and your fundamentals. Obviously, the more stress that's introduced into your training program, the more beneficial in the long run. But if you're there really standard for the basics, then you don't want bugs in your face, so make sure you have a can of off in there. Hearing protection is something that's pretty standard no matter where you go for firearms training. And there's a few different types that are actually out there. So there's pros and cons to each one. The first one is you're going to have just the cheap foam kind of in the ear. I'll always have about maybe 25 or 30 kind of stuffed in my range bag somewhere, because if somebody will ultimately forget something or forget theirs. So this is kind of cheap, and it's just, if there's nothing else, hey, you're good to go. The next step up from that is going to be standard over the ear protection. You want to get something that's a little bit low profile, so it's not that fat and it doesn't stick out so far. But then again, it's just a little bit of a step up from your inside the ear protection. You can get those standard anywhere about $20. A step up from that is going to be your electronic ear protection. This is something that I heavily prefer, because when you're on the range, there's a lot of instructions that you need to listen to, a lot of communication verbally back and forth. And if you don't want to resort to screaming like your other ear protection, the electronic ear protection is actually designed to increase noise over or under a certain decibel rating. So as soon as a gunshot is heard, it automatically kicks off the sound, protects your hearing, so you're able to go ahead and continue on with your training. Like I said, it's really nice because for a full 8-hour day on the range, we're not screaming the entire time. We're able to go ahead and communicate like human beings as we should. So that's always a good thing. They're generally inexpensive. There's multiple brands out there. Do your research and find out one that's suitable for you. But if you can afford it, I would say please get electronic ear protection. You're really going to benefit in the long run. You're always going to want to have a speed reloader. This is basically a thumb saver, because if you are loading up magazines after magazine after magazine, your thumbs are going to get tired after a while. This thing is really key, and it's pivotal in your training, so that you don't have sore thumbs, or you're able to go ahead and keep the training process going pretty smoothly, because you're able to go ahead and reload at a reasonable rate. Eye protection, obviously. So there's multiple reasons why you're going to have eye protection, but what kind are you going to have? If it's going to get low light or maybe cloudy, you're definitely going to want something that's clear. When you're training at nighttime or dusk or something like that, you're able to still go ahead and see. Then you're also going to have a tinted lens as well. And tinted lenses kind of manipulate the light around you to go ahead and enable you to see better. But I always prefer my shaded lenses, smoked or black. Either or, no matter what, you still want to have eye protection, but there's multiple reasons. So I would recommend having one of each in your range bag, and you keep it in your range bag. So if you drive with sunglasses all the time, keep an extra pair in your glove box, but the ones in your range bag, they stay in your range bag for that purpose, because you never really want to forget them. Another thing that you're going to be thinking about is light, all right? So just a standard flashlight, whether it's going to be a tactical one or a small one, what have you. And I'm a real big fan of a head flashlight, because if I have to use my hands to manipulate firearms or do whatever else, I've got this flashlight and it's ready to go. Spare batteries. Don't forget batteries for flashlights, because that's how they work. You're also going to want to have like a multi-use tool here. Why? Because if something breaks, you could fix it. I don't really need to explain it any further than that. And last but not least, one of the most important things you can have is a Sharpie. Why? Because it's a Sharpie and you're going to need it for something. So, hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to our videos, go to our Facebook page, go to www.goodshepherdDefense.com, and hope to train with you guys soon.